If a nuclear bomb goes off, where are you hiding? I live within the hazard radius of a nearby nuclear plant, which would be the likely target of any nuke war fired at my region. Not really anywhere safe to hide from a nuclear blast if it hits closer to home, but I do have potassium iodide tablets for the family to help fend off radiation sickness for a couple days on the road while we get the fuck out of the radiation zone if that plant is targeted. HET people who don't realize how likely they are to survive a nuclear blast. Ground Zero is vaporized, but atomic bombs are very survivable if you are a couple miles away as long as you know how to respond. Hiding from the initial blast, iodine tablets, the dust is the longer term deadly part, and so wearing a mask and rinsing off or changing when you go indoors to keep contamination away. Nah, just going to pour in ice, big drink. My sister lives in Hawaii and a few years ago they got a text message from emergency alert system that they were about to be bombed or whatever. There's literally nowhere to go, they poured a drink, sat on their lanai, and cuddled their dogs. Woman shrugging, made sense to me. Not hiding at all. The last thing I want is for me or my family to live through that and then have to fight with other humans for survival in a nuclear winter, only to die of starvation, radiation poisoning, cancer, or all three. Nope. I want to die in the first wave blast, down and dusted. Literally. I live in Switzerland. I have a full-blown nuclear shelter in my apartment building because it's mandated by law. Anti-blast doors and ventilation bunk beds and portable toilets. Can house all residents. Its daily use is a cellar, so people keep emergency food stock in there just in case. I live too close to a major target to worry about it. I know the location of one bomb shelter, but I have no supplies, and I'm willing to bet enough people around here think they could outrun it by getting the hell out of Dodge that there'd be too much traffic to get to it in time. My grandfather always told me in the event of a nuclear apocalypse, he would get in his car and drive directly towards the blast site. The closer you are to the impact point, the quicker death it will be. I'd give that scientifically true, but it makes sense. I learned in elementary school that hiding under my desk will protect me from nuclear explosions, so you'll find me there. I'm not sure why Zuck is bothering with a $100 million bomb shelter when he could accomplish the same thing with a few pieces of wood. I'm not I'll take that thing head one, get me off this earth. Also, who would want to live in a post-apocalyptic shithole in a most likely permanent nuclear winter? A quick explosion death is better than slowly starving to death or worse. As close to where it's dropped as I can get. Don't want to live miserably with radiation poisoning, and there's no place close enough that would be able to withstand the blast, the radiation and or the following fallout. Depends, am I in the blast radius? If so, I'm gonna be outside embracing it. Am I outside the blast radius? I'm sure there will be more, so I'm just waiting until I'm near it to embrace it. No one wins in nuclear war. My office has a legit fallout shelter in the basement, former military base. It's probably pretty crusty in there, but it was built for the purpose, and I'm likely to be at work when it happens anyway. I'm not hiding. A millisecond of brilliant light and we're vaporized. Much more fortunate than millions who wander sightless through the smoldering aftermath. Will we spare the horror of survival? I'm not. I live in the same town as a Space Force tracking station. During the Cold War, we just assumed we'd be first strike. Made it easier to deal with when watching The Day After in school. Well, the thing is, I live in a city with a major target, so if it were to go off there would be no hiding, and the only bunker I know of is across town and at the major target, so yeah. Well, assuming it's not directly on top of me as I live in the biggest city in Oregon, then I'm heading to New Washington, where my family has some land in a cabin deep in the woods. Won't be hiding, will have a gun in my hand and watch the nuke. If I don't die after my eyes are melted out of my socket, I'll shoot myself. I have one hell of a sight before I die. I live in the middle of a major area that would get directed, so in the few minutes I get, I would sit in my balcony with a drink in my hand and wait for the bright light. If it hits near me, I'm going to hell. I will be hiding behind the Devil's Throne. If it's not near me, my plan is to move out to the Florida Keys and live on a houseboat, naked on the front lawn flipping off the sky. I'm not going to survive any kind of post-nuke hellscape world anyway. I'm going to make sure the thing takes me out. I've invented a suit that protects me from even the most harmful radiation using live cockroaches and super glue. Their neat radiation protection is now mine. I live right outside of a major city. If a nuclear bomb was dropped here, it'd be dropped on said city. I'll be hiding in the form of ash in the atmosphere. I'm heading outside and facing the direction of the blast. If the pandemic has taught me anything, it's the existing for existence's sake is way overrated. Why would I hide and risk surviving in a nuclear wasteland? I might just end up like that Japanese guy who had the slowest and most painful death ever. Which continent? I'm assuming it'll be Europe or the US, in which case I'm good here in Australia. Just need to Mad Max up my Barina and I'm golden. If I'm at ground zero, I'm going outside to watch it fall and detonate. Something about staring death in its eyes and not being scared is oddly poetic, considering that one of the very high value targets is close enough for me to hear colors. I would not know anything happened. I don't mind though, given that I live in Kyiv. I'll be having about 4 minutes until I'm glassed. Kinda impossible to hide from the nuke in that short amount of time. Hopefully I'll be hiding directly underneath it when it detonates. Seriously, I'd rather it be fast and over, rather than seeing the fallout. I'm not hiding. I have no desire to live in dystopia, in fear, hunger, pain, etc. No desire to harm anyone or be harmed for meager supplies. I'm hoping it hits me on the forehead. I'm not trying to be roughing it in a dystopian nuclear fallout scenario. Miss me with all that Lamau. I live close to a high priority Air Force base. I don't think I'll be doing much of anything other than being rented from my mortal coil. If we are dumb enough to use nukes, I would rather be incinerated than scratch and claw until a slow death in what is left of our planet. I live just 1 mile from Moffett Air Force Base in Nebraska. It's a top tier target, so I won't even have time to think about hiding. I live in a farm in the middle of nowhere. Have a room under my garage. I would add a layer of dirt above the room to add shielding. Under my mother-in-law's full bed. That thing holds her hippo ass plus my Phil's 350 pounds ass. That thing can withstand anything. I am in my 50s and have several health problems, asthma, diabetes, and so forth. I'm already dead no matter what I do. What do you mean hiding? If the nuke goes off then I'm close enough to notice it. I was already dead 200 milliseconds ago. I live on the east coast of the US within the blast radius of several major cities. There won't be any hiding for me. I'm going to just head outside since we are screwed anyways, lol. Maybe I'll be lucky enough to see the mushroom cloud. I don't want to survive that. I'm getting good whiskey and some lawn chairs and holding my wife's hand when it hits. I will hide in my nuclear shelter. I live in Switzerland. We will survive and take over the post-apocalypse world. No hiding, just gonna watch it come and wipe me out instantly, instead of radiation sickness and lingering death. Hiding? Nah, I'ma surpass my limits, face it head on, and become fucking dust. But at least I won't be bitch dust. In the blast radius made, if a JST goes off, no warning, no time to run, I'm fucked. I'd instantly turn into a shadow. I'm running outside and standing with my arms wide open. About damn time I get into this miserable existence. The gym, cause you need a membership to get in there, and most likely the bomb doesn't have a gym membership, so I'm running towards the point of impact. Life ain't worth living at that point. Or I go to New Zealand. There is absolutely nowhere I could go in time to survive. I just hug my daughter tight and accept my fate, pulling out the old bottle of whiskey, assuming I'm not incinerated at initial blast, and say hello to my maker. I live right near the subway and want to live. Am taking my chances in the tunnels with the rats and mole men. Me Lucky Charms, and me Krabby Patty secret formula. I'll make sweet collectibles for the courier to find. I'm in San Diego surrounded by Navy 6 Fleet and Camp Pendleton. I'm dead. Prime military target locations. Does it matter? I'd rather die in the flash than linger on in the apocalypse with third-degree radiation burns. Not hiding, having a cocaine-fueled orgy, maybe in public on a nice hill somewhere up in cottage country. I'll be hiding in the pile of dust that I will become when the heat shock wave hits. You'll never find me. I live in the Washington, D.C., Norfolk Naval Base, Dover Air Force Base Triangle, so I'm not hiding anywhere. Stand outside and hope the warhead hits me directly. I ain't living through the apocalypse, fuck that. I'm not Lamau. I'd rather die with my soul intact than be pushed to survive in a miserable wasteland. I'm sitting a little bit under a mile away from the US Capitol. Hiding isn't much of an option. I'm not hiding. I'd rather embrace it and die immediately than in agony during the nuclear winter. I'm not hiding. I'm getting a front row seat for that. I want to be vaporized in a millisecond. Ground zero. I want it over quick. There is no positive option for surviving a nuclear attack. I'm probably dead. If I'm within close range, I'd go and witness the beauty before kicking off. I'm not hiding. I'm getting a front row seat for that. I want to be vaporized in a millisecond. In my backyard on a lawn chair listening to Here Comes the Sun while drinking an energy drink. If I had a choice, in the innermost blast radius. Dying of radiation sickness sounds hellish. I'm driving towards the bomb. Better to get it over with than to slowly die from radiation. Hiding? I ain't living through no fallout shit. I hope I'm inside the nuke when it goes off. If the nuclear bomb goes off, I'm probably dead, so I'll probably just go outside and watch, hopefully right under the first one so I don't have to live through the ensuing fallout. I'm not. I'll pray to be near ground zero so I can see it flash and then sweet release. If I see it coming, I am going outside with the catcher's mitt. Major nuclear war? Nope. Knowing my boss, I'd have to still come into work. And I won't be allowed to hide in the strip club eating lasagna and enjoying the last few seconds we have left. Why would you hide? Just tank the blast like a man and walk away unscathed. I'm running to Wingstop and having all the lemon pepper wings. Fuck the diet. Finding the nearest nuclear fallout shelter, either an airport or a school. Running towards it. Rather die fast than of radiation sickness or cancer. My boss needs me to work that day, so I'll be at work working, probably not in a Vault-Tec made shelters. Who knows what will take place in there. Anywhere far away from America and Russia and direct allies and enemies. I'm going to find its direct hit point and lay directly underneath it. I am finding a grade school desk to climb underneath, per my training. I'm already in my mom's. The internet will be up. I hope it lands on me. I wouldn't want to be around for the aftermath. With all the lead paint and asbestos in my house, I'll be pretty safe. I'm gonna hide by the bomb. No one would think to look for me there. Depends on where and how big. Hiding, hell, if there's time, get out a lawn chair and a drink. Skull. I would try to be friends with Elon so we can go to space to survive. It's already over depending on the proximity, so I'm just chilling. Not hiding. Let it come. Who wants to live in a post-nuclear world? I'll hide inside the mushroom cloud. No one will ever find me there.